So, the 390 Duke, the KTM 390 Duke. I've had it for about 8 months now, and you've probably clicked on this video because you want to know what my opinion is. So, is the 390 Duke a good bike? Yes. So, you can stop watching now. Unless if you want to hear my thoughts as to why I said yes, then carry on watching. What do I like about the bike? It's very lightweight, very easy to ride. And if you're like me, I'm still a relatively new rider. I've only been riding for sort of about a year and a half now. It's not an intimidating bike. Going up from a 125 to this, obviously there's a big difference in speed and acceleration, but I wouldn't say it's a daunting bike. I would say it's one that you can ride very sensibly or not so sensibly, and you'd still enjoy it. A lot of it's to do, I think, like I said, the fact that it's quite lightweight, so you can go around corners very easily, pull away from traffic very easily. It's easy to overtake with, so it's really good around town because it's very narrow, very light, so you can filter through the traffic very easily. I think this bike does about 110 possibly at a push, maybe more, I don't know. I haven't gone that high up because I'm not somebody who wants to go particularly fast, although saying that, I don't want to be behind this van right now. What else do I like about the bike? I like the way that it looks, which, to be honest, the first time I saw it I didn't really like it. Yes, I didn't always like the look of this bike. I think it's sort of grown on me a little bit. And it's quite a recognisable bike, so it's surely going to split opinion. Because something like the appearance of a bike is obviously quite subjective. What else do I like about this bike? It's got this TFT screen, which again I don't think everybody likes on a bike, but I quite like it. You've got a lot of information on there, so you've got your fuel gauge and your trip meter and all that kind of normal stuff. You can use it to, you know, it's constantly reading your fuel consumption, your average speed, and then with that it's calculating how long you've got till you have to fill up again, trip time, fuel range. It's got all sorts of stuff that I don't really know how to use, to be honest. But then I'd say that sort of ties into something I don't like about this bike, is that it's probably quite it's quite complicated in terms of things like that. It's laden with technology, of which most of it I quite like. Don't know if you've just seen that the screen has gone black because I just went through a tunnel, so it's got sensors up on the screen, so it changes to night mode when you go through darker areas, and it's got LED headlight. It's got the switch gears all lit up, which is quite nice at night time. And also, I'd say about the headlight, it's very good. I've only ridden a few times in the dark, in the complete darkness, and it's really good headlight, both in terms of seeing further down the road and also giving you quite a bit of width, so you can sort of see the whole road as you're going along, which is definitely a good thing. of the few bikes that I have ridden in my very short riding career, I would say this has got maybe the best wing mirrors on as a standard. Like you can see everything you need to see. So things that I don't like about this bike, I have only a few things, to be fair. It's not particularly comfortable, in my opinion. It's not bad, but definitely after sort of an hour I find myself really in need of a stop, just because this seat is pretty hard. I don't know if it's a combination of it being too hard and perhaps the position of it or the angle, but it's not comfortable. But again, looking at this bike, you can tell it's not made to be comfortable. It's made more for speed, so that's a forgivable point, really. What else can I say about it? I already touched on earlier the fact that it's quite complicated. If you really want to get into the ins and outs of this TFT screen and find out all the modes it does, because there's this thing called a KTM My Ride, which so you can sort of hook up to your phone and share the rides that you've been on. I'm not sure, I think it's something you have to pay for. So the other thing I don't particularly enjoy about this bike, something which can't be helped, is the fact that it is just a 390cc. And I would say for the type of riding I do, which is just sort of weekend riding, just for pleasure, not for commuting, it's basically fine, to be honest. On the occasion where I go on the motorway, I think because you're not protected by the elements at all, obviously it being a naked bike, and the fact that it's a 390, although it's a very fast, I'd say it's a very highly tuned 390cc bike. If you ever find yourself on the motorway sort of going around 80 miles an hour and you need to get out of the way of someone, or you know, it's sort of haven't got too much more to give, so you know, in those situations it's lacking. But that's, you know, that's my own fault for buying a smaller bike. It just does what it's meant to do. This year I would like to do some longer rides, and I would say that, you know, this is definitely, it will be doable on longer rides. I'm not talking about doing long extended tours, but if you're thinking of doing sort of 2, 3, 4 hours of riding in a day, this is definitely not the best choice, just from the fact that I don't think it's particularly comfortable, and like I said, it's lacking a bit of that top end power, especially because it's a single cylinder bike. You've got loads of torque down low, so it's great for in and around town, but any sort of longer riding on motorways, it's not going to be great for it. But again, it's perfectly adequate. It's not, I don't think it would let you down as such. It just wouldn't be particularly comfortable. So yeah, I'd say that's those are my thoughts on the bike so far. Like I said, I've only had the bike for about 8 months, and I don't know, I feel like I've perhaps grown out of it, so I think that's the sad thing. So who's this bike for? I would say it's for people like me, who haven't been riding too long, and you've perhaps started learning your craft on a smaller bike, the 125. Yeah, going from any 125 to this is, you're going to have a lot of fun. If you're looking for something that's good value for money, and it's still going to be fun to ride, and again, this ticks that box, because it's a good price. I got it for sort of 4,600 last year, brand new. Although, as I've said, it's not for those of you who are thinking of going on longer treks, or, you know, going around the world on it or something. I wouldn't recommend that. You'd probably get a bit sick of it. For commuting, again, this I think it's a really good choice because it's definitely more than fast enough to go in and around town. Fuel economy is pretty good because, you know, it's a smaller bike, and cut through traffic really easily. So those are just my thoughts. If you've owned the bike or had a go on the bike or heard anything about the bike and you wanted to share your thoughts, then obviously leave a comment. It'd be interesting to see what your opinions of the bike are. If I've mortally offended you because I've said some bad things about this bike, and you know, maybe you have gone around the world on this bike, maybe you only use it for longer tours and you've been riding all over the country in it, and you think I'm talking a load of rubbish, then also leave me a comment. Why not? You can do what you want. So those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, then please like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, don't do it, or do it. I'm still happy to get a subscriber even if you don't like my videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.